Good evening. I'm your old friend Deacon Jones from L.A., Lower Alabama. When I was a lad of a boy, we used to read these Terry tales. Well, our parents or our aunts and uncles read them to us first, and then when we could read, we started reading them. Well, I'm going to read you one right here that was very inspirational to me. It says, once upon a time, well, they all started that way. I don't know why, but they did. Once upon a time in a car infantry, that must have been a place kind of like St. Louis or Detroit. Once upon a time in a car infantry, there lived a very beautiful girl, and her name was Rindercella. Now, Rindercella lived with her mugly other and two sad bisters. They were very mean to Rindercella by making her do all the washing and cleaning and cooking. And also in this same car infantry, there was a very pransome hince. And this pransome hince was going to have a fancy fall. And he invited people from riles a mound, especially the pitch reaple. Now, Rindercella's mugly other and her two sad bisters went out to buy some drancy fesses to wear to this fancy fall. But Rindercella couldn't go because all she had to wear was some old ruddy dags. Finally, the night of the fancy fall arrived, and Rindercella couldn't go, so she just cat down and scried. And while she was kitting there scrying, at once there appeared before her Gary Fodmother. And she touched her with her magic wand and said, Rindercella, you will be able to go to the fancy fall. And then there appeared before her a sig boach and Hicks White's horses to take her to the fancy fall. But now the Gary Fodmother said to Rindercella, Rindercella, you must be home before midnight, or I'll turn you into a tumpkin. When Rindercella arrived at the fancy fall, the pransome hince met her at the door. And Rindercella and the pransome hince danced all night until midnight, and they lil and fuv. And finally the clock struck midnight, and Rindercella staced down the rares, and just as she breached the rottum, she slopped her dripper. The next day, the pransome hince went all over his kingdom, looking for the beautiful girl who had slopped her dripper. Finally, he came to Rindercella's house. He tried it on Rindercella's ugly mother, and it fit and did. Then he tried it on her two sad bisters, and it fit and did. Then he tried it on Rindercella, and it fit and did. It was exactly the sight rise. So they were married and lived everly after happy. Now the story of the moral is this: if you ever go to a fancy fall and want to have a pransome hince loll and fuv with you, don't forget to slop your dripper. Good evening. Thank you for listening.